Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. If you're here, it's because morning talk shows and even most podcasts have you down in the dumps, depleted and yearning for more. I want more money. I want more time. I want more magic. I want to be told what to do. I want to find what works. I want to scale my business. I want to be provided with actionable inspiration. And if more is what you want, then get ready for the Unblinded Huddle, which is the #1 way to start your day with a dose of integrity-based human influence. With your hosts, Sean Callaghy, Fernando Valencia, Adam Gugino, Jared Yellen, and the entire Unblinded movement.
Chime in with us all the way from Hawaii. It's 3 a.m. there, and she's looking like she is ready to go to like a gala. She is primed, ready, excited, and smiling, because that's how Joan Greco is. It is a sick level of self-mastery. So as Sean gets here, what's happening, Joan?
That was a crazy huddle this morning. That was very good. I like that. Thanks so much.
And I'm curious, and for everyone, we do not practice these. These are, raw, real, and they're just live. I'm curious, Joan, like how you define leadership. Once again, you speak about it and you say it. And for a lot of people, it could be like, oh my God, yeah, be a leader. You're actually doing it. And I don't want to give away all the ways you're doing it because I'm very present to how you're doing it. I'm curious, for our live ecosystem that's listening, how do you define leadership?
Leadership is just raising your hand and saying, I'll do it. Being at the front and taking on the position that nobody else wants to do, or people may think about, boy, it would be a great idea if we do this, but it's not the idea. Lots of people have ideas. It's acting on that idea. So just a good example, and this is not to give myself a pat on the back or anything else, but with the Lions group, I woke up one day and I said, there are a bunch of great minds out there. What can we innovate together in this time space? So I just put the note out there, like Sean said, who wants to get together on this huddle? And had a bunch of people, and still do. We have about 25 people on the call every morning. We do the morning 4:30 my time, 8:30, 10:30 East Coast. And we're bringing in guest speakers that are specialists. We are working on getting masks out there to the general public. So we've brought someone in who's going to be doing 3D printing of masks. So anyway, it's just not just having the idea, but acting on it. That's what a leader does.
I know we asked, but why would you say yes to getting up at 2:30 a.m. and doing this at 3 a.m.? Like, why would you do that?
Well, when it originally started, it was 3:30 a.m. And I thought, okay, that's just a little bit earlier in the morning. I can handle that. 2:30 is like in the middle of the night. But what prompts me to do it is I get so much value from this. You add tremendous value to my life, to my practice, by listening and using what it is that you teach. And then being able to share that. So when I share that with my staff, or I share it with whoever I think that this would be most important for, they end up getting tremendous value from it. So it's value add. That's why anything can become successful, is how much value you add.
Thanks, Joan. And so just drop it in real quick before we get into the role plays. So where are things now? Like, give us, please, a picture of your beautiful world. Where is it that you actually live?
I live on the big island of Hawaii. And to me, there's no better place to live. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. I lived in Texas for 9 years and then New Orleans. And when I was in New Orleans, I decided I wanted to live someplace where the air was clear, water was blue, crime rate was low, and they needed my services. And that was on this island. And we're very isolated out here. I live in a community of about 6,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, but so it's rural. We are rural here. But I am 10 minutes from one of the world's best beaches. I can go up to Mauna Kea, which is where they have the observatories. There's snow up there right now, so we can have snow and surf in the same day.
Unbelievable. And so I hear the word surf. What's your relationship to those beautiful clear waters?
It is serene. Getting my feet into the ocean on a weekly basis just clears my head. Walking on the beach, getting out there, paddleboarding, swimming. I mean, it's just an amazing way to live. And I've been here for 26 years. So I never get tired of it, and I never take it for granted.
So how have you, we chatted a little bit about it, but with only 6,000 people, could you please explain a little bit about your patient base and how you've developed the success you have in such an isolated area, and kind of like what it all looks like?
Okay, I'm going to give you a little story to go with this. Spear Dental Education is is North America's largest continuing dental education companies in the country. And a few years ago, they tapped me to be on their advisory board. And I wasn't quite understanding why. They chose 16 people. And towards the end of our tenure that year, the CEO and chairman of the board just said, I have been trying to figure this out all year long. He said, but you're a complete enigma. I don't know how you're doing it. You're an outlier, but you are on an island with 225,000 people. 30% of our population is Medicaid or on some sort of entitlement program. And I just don't know how you do it. So the bottom line is coming from the heart, caring about people, loving what I do, and letting them know that I love what I do, letting them know that I am a part of their life, and I'm a part of I'm a part of their life, getting healthy. And they know when they come into the office that they are going to be well taken care of, not just by me, but by the tremendous staff that I have around me.
So yeah, with that said, what is it that you'd like to focus on? Like, what would be the most important thing you could focus on role playing with me today in getting a yes? And that could be an ecosystem merger. It could be just selling your services to a client. It could be anything that you want in the world. So what will be the most important yes that you're working on in the world right now, either a one yes or a consistent yes that would need to show up for you and your team? Like what would serve you the most?
Well, okay. So for two things. One is because I don't want this to be about me, but I can share with you something about ecosystem mergers, and I didn't even realize that that's what I do until I started doing Unblinded.
Sure.
So I can talk a little bit about ecosystem mergers, and then we can do a little bit of role play as to what I do in the office, so people can get an idea of and it may spark ideas in their mind of what they may want to do in their businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. So frame it out, and then what we're looking to do for people, Joan, is to play it out where you're going from hello to yes with me about something, and then we reverse it, and I go from hello to yes with you about the same exact thing. So yeah, like please share a little bit about ecosystems. Then maybe we'll play an ecosystem merger game where I'm either a patient or a referral source or a stage that you're looking to get on, and you're going to sell to me, or you're going to seek a yes from me about something that is going to add massive value. Sound good?
That may actually be interesting. So, okay. So let me just tell you a little bit about ecosystem merging.
Please.
Getting into the Tony Robbins world was pretty interesting for me. And some of the first people that I met in the Platinum Partner Group have turned out to be some of my best friends. How that happens, how the universe does that, I don't know, but it's how I ended up in your program. So just getting in with the Platinum Partners, meeting people, but remembering what it is they're doing. So I guess that's level 5 listening, is when I'm with someone, I'm completely present with them, and I make a note. Or if I get how people give out their cards, I don't take the card. I'll take a photo of the card, and I'll put that I'm terrible at organizing, but I do put that as someplace special, so that I know in the back of my mind when I'm talking with someone else, if they've got something that comes up and it's like, oh, I met someone that may be able to help you.
But what right now, if we just pick one, what's a yes that you would like to create in the world right now related to any part of your ecosystem?
What is the yes? Well, timing is so important right now. And since people need things, it's easier to get the yes. I don't know how to answer that, Sean.
Okay, how about this?
Reword it for me.
Yeah, then in service of people, how about if we demonstrate how you've created referral sources out of other physician practices? Because for some people, they may not be at the stage where they're solving regional and world level problems like you are. So maybe let's go back to the basics. When you were beginning to accelerate your practice and you were having conversations with people about educating them how they could refer to you and how you could serve their practice and their patients, maybe let's do that role play. Would that be okay?
That would actually be great because, I might be able to get people on this Lions call and do something on the world level, but I can't get a lot of my local docs to get on a phone call for me to help them figure out how to get through this crisis.
Boom. Okay, so let's play that game. Let's play that game. So let's start with though, a local doctor when you were originally communicating with them that ended up with them becoming a referral source for your practice. And then we can morph into the second part. But let's go back, because I think that would really be in service of people who are looking right now to generate more revenue. People are in trouble right now. People are scared. People are having challenges, and they need to be having those conversations. They don't need to be. They can choose to be having those conversations to solve some of those challenges. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yep.
All right. So you begin. I am whatever. Who do you want me to be? What type of physician in your community in Hawaii?
You're going to be a general dentist.
Okay, awesome. So
you're a general dentist that does not Medicaid, but not high-end work either, not yet.
Okay, so I'm a general dentist. My name is Sean, Dr. Sean or Sean, whatever you're gonna refer to me. And it's like, ring, ring, and let's have a conversation. Or better yet, we get ourselves to a lunch meeting. So we're face-to-face, having a conversation, and we sit down and it's like, hey, Joan, how are you?
Okay, so this is very interesting because I'm not able to get people to go to lunch with me. They would rather just talk over the telephone.
This is drop the mic access to the one and only Dr. Joan Greco, who is struggling to get people to go to lunch with her, who is remarkable and incredible. So let's do a phone call just with these physicians and having them come to, do you want to have live meetings with these people?
You know what I have found out when I have a live meeting with them, if I do get to sit down and have a meal with them, they are totally befuddled and don't know what to say. And it's an awkward situation. So I just leave it as communicating through phone calls. That's why I started the videos. Thank you to UNBLINDED, because it creates a touch, an access point that I didn't have before.
So we are going to solve for these challenges in a huge way, whether it be telephonic or not, and walk through this model of having something be not like I cannot tell you how excited I am for this access point. And in service of people, just like really get what you're hearing, folks, is that these incredibly successful people are having limitations, these physicians, and I think we're going to support Dr. Joan and maybe a breakthrough today in what would make those conversations not seem awkward, weird, or uncomfortable. And I can't wait to reverse it, but let's start with you. It's a telephone call, and you can ask me to be for referrals. You can ask me to be on a group call. You can ask me for whatever it is that you want to ask me for. But let's just start with ring, ring, and I'm Dr. Sean. So you're calling me, and we're having a conversation.
Hi, Sean. I'm getting together a study club group. We are going to meet on a monthly basis. And it's something that I would really love for you to be involved with. You are a leader in the community, in the dental community, and I think you have a lot to offer the other docs. What can I do to help you? It's basically, what can I do to help you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And who is this? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Joan. So I know all my referring docs.
Hello, who's calling?
This is Dr. Joan Greco. I am the oral and maxillofacial surgeon on this side of the island. And I would like to be able to include you in a study club that we have ongoing. Study club helps to educate our dentists, both through video presentations and video clips from Spear, and then we have discussion within the group that will actually help take you to the next level of being able to treat the patients in this community.
Okay, very cool. If you could send me some info, I'd be happy to, have my team take a look at it.
Well, I would really like to be able to, if at all possible, meet with you. I'd be happy to join you if you'd like to bring your wife for dinner. I'd love to be able to meet you someday after work. And then I can go through the program, and we can talk about the things that you're having some difficulties with here in the Hilo area, and also what things are working right for you in your practice. I've been here for a long time, and I may be able to help you maneuver maneuver your practice a little bit more successfully?
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You sound like a really kind and generous person. Things are a little bit busy for me these days. Would it be okay if I circle back maybe next month and we check in and see how things are? Just got a lot of stuff going on the home front and other things. Would that be okay with you?
Sure, that would be fine. But I'd really like to get the program up and running sooner. And I think that the sooner you and I can talk, the more value I can add to your practice. And what I really want to do is to be able to add more to your bottom line. And I think that there are a few small things that you can do within your practice that can help get you there.
It's 9:34 a.m. Okay, awesome, Fernando. So, Dr. Joan, I want to get permission level or permission to coach you. How do you feel about being coached through this dynamic?
Absolutely, I need it.
Okay, awesome. We're going to create a drop the mic, total and complete insanity acceleration in this entire model mechanism, because you are freaking amazing. And there's a couple of slight distinctions we're going to put in that are going to just crush the world. So Fernando, I'd love your feedback and input as we're listening to Dr. Joan, the amazing Dr. Joan Greco. What is present for you? And I want you to rip it open and be raw and real, because this is real raw. So rip it open, and what is present for you?
Okay, what is present for me? Number one, I was not 5D listening, so I want to start with that. And when I was listening, I would say it is the variance of energies would be a key access from the beginning. Would be Zeusing when stepping into agreement formation and rebuttal. Would also be very imperative. It would be matching and mirroring with your language and words. I believe would bring a key access. And I'll pause there and pass it back to you.
Okay, so here we go. What is most present for me is, remember, it's 4 steps. There's 10 indispensable elements, and there's 4 energies. And what is very present for me is that Dr. Joan was stepping right into step 3 and step 4. She was conveying actually more step 4 without the first 3 steps. So Dr. Joan, can we reverse this? And I'm telling you, this is going to be drop the mic. So you ready for a reversal and drop the mic?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. And what I'm going to ask for, you've given so much trust and so many beautiful and incredible kind words about me and Unblinded. And I'm going to ask that you trust me, because sometimes when people hear this, they fall into a pattern of saying, I do understand that, but you don't know these people. You don't know these people. And what I want to assure you is I would never represent something that I don't know. I don't know these people by name, but I do know these people. And I've utilized this formula in every industry extensively with every type of person from every walk of life. And I have unquestionably utilized the formula with dentists. I have many dentists as clients of ours, all sorts of surgeons, healthcare providers, doctors for years. And the formula applies to them as well, equally. So trust that as we step in, and you be the type of person you'd expect on the other end of the line, and we'll take it from there. Okay. So let's go with you're Dr. Joan, and I'm Dr. Sean, and we're just reversing roles. So I'm you. I'm a referral physician there, and give me one more time. The best way to say what you do is you're a facial. Okay, so how would I say?
Oral and facial plastic surgeon.
Oral and facial plastic surgeon. Okay. So ring ring. Hi, is Dr. Joan available?
This is Dr. Joan. Can I help you?
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Joan. Thank you so much. For picking up. I didn't think I'd get you right away. My name is Sean Callaghy, actually, Dr. Sean Callaghy, and I'm a oral plastic surgeon from the area. And I just wanted to say a quick hello and see if we can connect for a couple minutes.
Sure, that'd be fine. I'm in between patients right now, so I've got a few minutes to talk. Yeah,
great. Can I ask this, because I never want to press? Do you have 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes? I want to keep it tight, and make sure you have the right amount of time right now, or I could always call you back 'cause I don't want to catch you at a weird time.
Oh, wow. Thanks for asking. I have about 3 minutes.
Okay, amazing. So what I love to do in those 3 minutes is simply ask you like how you are, like what's going on. I know things are a little bit, not a little bit, a lot of bit crazy with what's happening with the coronavirus, and I'm sure that's having, or at least could potentially eventually have an impact here. But how are you doing, and like what's really present for you?
Well, I've had to shut everything down. I put all my employees on unemployment, and
Oh my God.
my schedule's cleared out. I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think I may have to close my practice. I've been doing this long enough that I think I'm just too old to fight another fight.
Oh my God, Dr. Joan, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I know we're about up with our 3 minutes, so I want to honor that. What I'd love to do is have maybe a 15-minute conversation to see if that's really true, because clearly you've done all the things that you've done in your life, and that may be true. But I've been working with some people and thinking about some things that maybe, just maybe, would have that not be true. And I'd love to just talk to you for 15 more minutes when it'd be convenient for you. And it sounds like right now you do have some time with everything that's going on. So would you be comfortable giving me 15 more minutes to chat if it might change your whole future about your practice, or not? But 15 minutes. How do you feel about that?
With the stay at home in place, I'm not quite sure it's a good idea for me to get out and do anything.
Yeah, no, I just want to do it over the phone, just like a 15-minute call over the phone.
I could find 15 minutes over the phone. What we'd have to do is I need to wrap up my office and make sure everything's in place, and finish with these last few patients. And why don't I get back in touch with you and let you know what might work?
Yeah, Dr. Joan, thank you. And I'm sure you're like ready to go right now. If I could just share this. I know you probably have a lot of phone calls, a lot of things in your heart and mind, and there's an extraordinary amount of stress. Am I hearing that correctly?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for that. And that lands. What I also know is that there's some real ways that we might be able to create some really positive things together. And I know this. If we get off the phone right now and we don't set a time, I'm talking to a lot of people. I'm busy. I know you're dealing with a lot. You're overwhelmed and busy. If we don't set that time right now, my speculation is it will never happen, and we could miss an extraordinary opportunity. So could I ask you, please, to take 15 more seconds or 30 seconds just to set that time up? And I'm not pushing. I'm just being honest and authentic with you, that if we don't do it now, I believe it's never going to happen. Would that be okay for me to ask that?
Yes, that's fine. Let me get my calendar out.
Okay, boom. So let's pause. Okay, right there. How did that? And we're going to get into the 15-minute call next. How did that 3-minute call feel to get to the yes for the 15-minute call?
That it felt great to be able to get there, and I was following what you were doing. But I think where my problem lies is that I know all of these docs, so it's not like I'm meeting someone new. So I think that's probably why I jumped into agreement formation, which you're absolutely right.
Yeah, then let's replay with the people that you know.
Okay,
so
can we do that? Because that's where my problem is.
Great. So let's roll into it. Fantastic. So let's say, what doctor? Well, we won't use the real name. We'll still make you Dr. Joan, but just take on the personality of one of these doctors you'll be talking to, right? Okay. And let's take it from the top. So, but let's pause though. What did you hear that was present in the sequencing of how we handled that? Take us through the abridged version of the steps and what was occurring at each step to get to the agreement. Because we touched on step 1, 2, 3, 4 in a very abridged way in about a 4-minute call. So take us through what you heard from step 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4.
Yes. So
We did at the beginning of Where Have You Been, what we call within the prism of the formula a check-in. So, hey, how are you? So it was a check-in. It was, where are you? What are you focusing now? It was a little bit of where are you going? Definitely what are the challenges with what's going on in the world right now? We glanced over what's working, very present to what's not working. We did do some pain and yes, very minimally. We did convey an identity.
What was the pain and yes that I touched on? So I want people to get this. So I did start with, so first I asked a lot more questions than Joan did before. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't telling, I was asking, right? Right? Yeah. And so questions were opening engagement. And then what was the pain I touched on, Fernando?
I remember feeling it. I don't remember the words.
Yeah. The pain I touched on was the potential to lose the opportunity to save her practice.
Boom.
Like that's what's at stake. Like I get it. You're busy right now and I get it. You're moving quickly, but what's at stake is losing this call and losing the opportunity to save your practice that you built over all these years. And I didn't hit it overly dramatically, but I made it present that there was something at stake to lose, not a benefit to gain, right? So it's not benefit throwing. At step 2, there's something at stake to lose because people are motivated by pain, not pleasure. So we have to put something at stake at step 2. And what was at stake was losing the meeting, which therefore could mean losing the practice. Does that land, Joan, at step 2? Does that land?
Where, yes, it's huge. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Step 3,
yes,
very briefly, because again, it was short, just minutes, right? At step 3 was the dynamic of Joan potentially being the person that could solve all these problems. Or me, or Dr. Sean, being the person that could solve these problems. And step 4, the agreement was a simple one. All I'm asking you to agree to is talk to me for 15 minutes to see if we can actually deliver on this promise. So it's a 15-minute call to get out open your calendaring system on your phone or wherever to potentially save your practice. A very irresistible offer, tiny, small ask, all pre-framed with minimization of ask. So pre-framed with minimization of ask. There was contrast. Value contrast I was creating, value contrast, like tiny ask. My tone said tiny ask, massive implication to know. Does that land, Joan?
Square, yes.
Okay, so now let's jump in the other way. Fernando, is that landing for you?
Yeah, value contrast. I'm taking notes, writing like a lunatic. So, once the final for everyone listening, yes, I did not remember the words. I remember the feeling. And for everyone that's like, man, well, Sean's a master. Look, he did it in 3 minutes. Yes, all those things. And you can do it too. When you view everything, when you accept and when you equipped.
I will never allow myself to be in a bad call.
I like that.
I will never allow myself to be in a bad call out of the formula. So if somebody goes 3 minutes, I'm going to buy more minutes. That's what I'm seeking, right? I am never going to try to get out what I can get out in 3 minutes. There's no way. I'm never going to try to get from hello to dinner in 3 minutes, unless I sense in that 3 minutes that they're expanding to longer. So it's done effectively. I've had a lot of meetings where somebody say you have 3 minutes and an hour and a half later, they're crying. I mean this legitimately, opening their heart because they feel I see them, I hear them, and what they say matters to me authentically. And they're talking to me an hour and a half later about their son being on drugs. Like I've literally had that happen in a Fortune 500 company with the head of human resources. And I could tell that story 25 other times where I've had somebody tell me 3 minutes and it's been over an hour that they talk to me because they feel seen, heard, and validated. Okay, so now, Dr. Joan, let's jump back in with one of the people you know for a long time. Okay, so ring, ring. Hey, is Dr. Joan available?
Hi, this is Dr. Joan.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Joan, it's Dr. Sean. How are you?
Good, great, Sean. How are you today?
Good. Hey, listen, it's been longer than I would have hoped. Am I catching you in an okay time? I'd love to talk for a few minutes, but I just want to check in for how much time you have right now.
I probably have about three minutes. I'm busy wrapping some things up here at the office.
Oh my God. Okay. So I think what I have to chat about is more like a 15-minute conversation. And I definitely do not want to like try to jam it into like you being stressed in between patients and interrupt you. Would it be okay if we set up a time to talk to her for about 15?
Oh, gee, you know, I've going to be teaching a jujitsu class for my son today. And this week is pretty busy. I'm not quite sure I've got the time, you know, but I love what you're doing for me, and just keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep sending patients to you. Everything is fine.
Okay, Dr. Joan, I still have 60 seconds. Do I not?
Yes, you do.
Hit our 3 minutes. I'm just teasing you. Can you take a deep breath? I'm not even kidding, because I feel like I'm selling to you, pushing for more referrals, doing something. And I am so grateful for everything that you do for me. I want truly you to know that. And I'm not looking for anything more from you. I'm looking to just add more value. And I feel like I'm stressing you out with the call. And I'm sorry that you feel that way and I'm catching a weird time. So please accept that empathy and apology.
I understand that. It's all good. Everything's good. I know you're not asking for anything, but I just I don't have any more time.
Okay. So what is interesting to me, and again, Dr. Joan, at the risk of being bold and audacious, if I told you that I had the cure for all problems in the world, like world hunger, peace, I could cure the coronavirus, would you have 15 minutes for me, honestly?
You know, I'm getting a lot of information on the internet and in the news. I think I'm okay right now.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying literally, I'm asking a different question. How about this? If I could give you $1 billion to you or any charitable cause that you wanted, would you give me 15 minutes?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. I'm teasing you, and I hear that you're completely stressed out. I am saying this. I love you. I am grateful for you. And I do not believe that you don't have 15 minutes for something of value. I think what's happening is I must have done a poor job in the past at some point in using your time effectively. And I'm asking for one more chance. Can I please have 15 minutes to communicate with you? Because I think we could really do some powerful things. And it sounds like an incredibly stressful time for you. And I don't want to pressure you, but I am making one small request. And my promise is if I don't return massive value in our 15-minute call, that you do not ever accept a 15-minute call from me again. May I make that request, please, Dr. Joan?
Yes. Can we do this at the end of the day?
Absolutely. What time would be a good time to call? Like, what's the end of the day for you?
Let's say 4 o'clock. We can do it 4 o'clock.
Awesome. Thank you. Go on to your patients. And listen, have openness, hold space for the possibility that I'm actually telling you the truth. I am, but open your heart to that and have a beautiful day, Dr. Joan. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll talk again.
Okay. So let's pause. Fernando, what's present for you?
I'm holding my breath, man. I'm holding my breath because it's like one of those things where it was like a constant lean in. When someone says something, leaning into the conversation or leaning into what was said is saying to the person what they're feeling versus what they're saying. And it's in the feeling of the energy in the conversation and the listening of their words, you can speak, and I'm still in language, I'm saying it slow. You can speak into the listening of that person. So Joan's energy, voice, how short answer she was, how tense she was. Like I can feel like she was against the wall, clenched, like yearning. And it was speaking into that and making light of it, varying the energies, trying fun, still didn't work, stepped into Zeus and took it there and said the truth and, put it on the line. Like you put it on the line. If I'm lying, never talk to me again. Like at this point, either this person's crazy or they have something. Because I thought we were good. This person's ridiculous. And ridiculous is interesting in the middle of whatever energy. So that was all there.
Yeah. Dr. Joan, what's present for you?
I'm taking down some notes because I think the comment about doing a poor job with your using your time in the past. these guys get massive value from me, but the fact that they don't want to sit and talk to me, they would rather just keep referring to me. Always in my mind, I can't figure out why that should be. What is it that's keeping them from wanting to go face to face with me? And, just coming down to asking, if I don't return massive value, then I won't ask to talk to them again like this. And we'll just discuss patients on a patient by patient basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Leaning in super directly.
Leaning in and what Fernando just said, say what they're feeling versus what they're saying is also huge.
Yeah, that's level 5 listening, right? You're stepping into why they are saying what they are saying. Level 5 listening, why they are saying what they are saying. And that's just behind the 3 minutes. And the 15 minutes, Joan, I would step into, I would get into like where they are, what their biggest challenges are, and it would sound like this. Could we spend 5 minutes doing that? Because I want to arm you with this power to help support these people. They need you. They just don't know it. And the reason for everybody that people don't say yes to you is because there's a value chain, there's a breakdown in the value chain in the communication. So Tony Robbins, a business master too, talks about value chain breakdown in your business, like the leaking of things. And he's not talking about it in sales, but I'm talking about it in sales here. He is talking about it in communication. He's talking business processes. I'm talking about it in sales right here. And what happens is the reason that people don't say yes to you is because they don't feel like the value that you're going to give for what you're asking for is there. And so what we stepped into is massive value promise in exchange for the minimal time of 15 minutes. Because really what's at stake for people is their fear that they're going to get sold, they're going to make a mistake, they're going to waste resources. People that are in hunting mode, this is Alex and Armstrong now, people in hunting mode, whether it's a man or a woman, when they're in hunting mode, what in our language, Zeus energy, they count resources. And they're scared to fail, my language, at using resources. So all that's really at stake is that person saying, I don't want to waste 15 minutes because I don't feel like I have time. Time is so unbelievably scarce for me, and I'm so overwhelmed. I don't want to waste time, and I don't know that I'm going to get value here, so I can't give that time because I'm just so scared I'm going to lose that 15 minutes. Does that make sense, Joan?
Yeah. So can I tell you what's coming up for me, and maybe you can help me?
Yeah, please.
And you talked about Zeus power. That perhaps when we get together, I end up more in my Zeus power, and I make them feel bad. And it may be that
I feel that, Joan. I feel that. So if I was going to coach you up, I'd be coaching you up. Remember the 4 energy. You are beautiful, Zeus. I mean, you have unbelievable access with your certainty, with your clarity to your Zeus energy. And what I'd be stepping into more is my aspirational fun and goddess. I think aspirational is there for you also. You have beautiful aspirational energy. The fun and goddess gets a little bit hidden. So can I take you through what that might sound like? And this is going to be recorded so you can listen to it again if you want to, because this is now, it's in service of everybody. It's also in service of you, because the way this works in the real raw is if we're not serving the person who's coming on, in this case, you, Joan, then we're not serving the audience. So we've served you already, but I am super clear. We're on the verge of a breakthrough if you have 5 more minutes to run through it. Does that work for you? And if it doesn't, I understand.
Absolutely. I'm good.
Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so it would sound like this. So now we get to the 15-minute call, right? And we're going to stay in the formula, and we know each other. So it's going to be, hey, Dr. Joan, just thanks for picking up, and thanks for giving me this 15 minutes, and I want to use it incredibly wisely to add value. Does that work for you?
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me ask you this right off the bat. I sense, and this is a huge breakthrough for us both ways, I sense extraordinary concern and resistance about chatting a little bit more. And what is it that brings that resistance up and talking to me for you? And please rip it open, be completely real with me, because I feel that. And I'm not offended. I'm not upset. There's nothing you can say that'll hurt my feelings. What is it though that makes you feel like there's not value in our speaking and connecting? And please be honest with me. So let's pause. Out of roll. Let's go out of roll. Okay. I would literally, what we call that, we're out of roll right now, is taking the objection, putting it in the middle of the target.
Blowing it up with a bazooka.
Yeah, say it, Fernando.
I'm blowing it up with a bazooka.
Yeah, like there's nowhere to go. Like there's nowhere to go. They go, well, no, it's nothing. No, it's something. We could hear it, we feel it, something. What is it? And leading like straight into it. Does that make sense, Joan?
It makes a lot of sense. But the thing that I would be concerned about is that I can damage that relationship by coming straight on. The Japanese culture here is very, yeah.
Understood. But you're not making them wrong. You're taking responsibility and saying, what have I done to create this dynamic for you? So I would take on that responsibility. So it's not making them wrong. It's saying something here I'm not effectively communicating. So what's present for you? And I completely appreciate the dynamics of different cultural aspects. I understand. I wouldn't say better than you for sure, but I do have sensitivity and awareness to Japanese cultural dynamics and relationship building, and have some level of access to that. And I would boldly say that this dynamic works effectively in that way as well. It would take a while to fully encapsulate all the distinctions of what we're talking about, but I'm going to ask for your trust in leaning in, provided it's from your heart and it's about what's present for them because of how you've handled the communication. Really, point being to have them talk and share what's occurring. So I get the fear and concern. I do. And I'm putting a lot on the line, right, in our trust in saying that. I don't think you're going to damage the relationship. I'm 100% sure you're not, unless you made them wrong. Does that make sense or no?
Got it.
Yeah. So let's play it out. So I say that. So hey, what have I done? What's been present for you? And kind of that resistance to our spending time connecting. Because I really do think there's some things that I might be able to be helpful with, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I really want to know, like when I call, like what do you associate that to? Like what's present for you, Joan?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that when we get together, I feel like I'm not adequate enough in our conversations.
Wow. I'm going through a program right now where I'm working on myself. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your candor. And I know that probably wasn't easy to say. And let me say, I'm sorry. And we say this thing in the organization, one of the organizations I learned from, and not in a weird way. Like I love all people. Right? I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And because I never wanted to create that dynamic. And I think what I'm learning is, and I'm learning about these different energies, and I am so clear on what's possible in the world that maybe at some points I've gotten overly exuberant about my desire to share. And it's come across in maybe a parental meets authoritative dynamic of making you feel wrong about what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong about what you're doing. And what I've come to know and believe is that everybody should be able to live their life exactly the way they want to. And maybe a pivot that if you give me this permission, and thank you so much for the feedback, is I'd love to be seen as somebody that could be safer. So the number one thing I'd like to create in a relationship is listening and safety. And that's who I'd like to be. And I've learned a lot about listening recently. So does that sound like a fair reframe, a restart, reframe for our relationship? Joan, could you, in the next 10 minutes we have left in this call, can you maybe see me as an access for safety and listening?
That would be beautiful. That would work.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that trust. I know that's not easy. And I know that, there's ways I've suboptimally delivered that in the past. So thank you. So with that said, a question I have is really, Dr. Joan, and out of role, listen to my tonality, listen to my acknowledgments, listen to my slowing. I'm in my heart for real. My heart is aching for this person, feeling inadequate, feeling somehow, and it's aching for me, for me being Dr. Joan, for you, Joan, because you're such a beautiful soul. And the last thing you'd ever want to do to anybody is to have them feel inadequate.
Right.
The last thing you'd ever want to do to anyone is anything less than have a beautiful connection. It's just who you are, right? So the empathy I have is extraordinary. So that's the space, the heart space of this connection. And I might say, so Dr. Joan, with that said, what's present for you right now? There's so much happening in the world. What are you feeling? What's happening for you?
I think with everything that's going on in the world, I'm feeling scared. And
now pause. Could I ask this question? How often do these referral sources to you, we're out of role, Joan. How often do these referral sources get that vulnerable with you where they tell you they're scared?
I've got a few that do. I've got a handful that do, because they see me as a source of confidence and gives them confidence. But then there are some that really need it, but won't admit to it.
So I think the way that you admit to it is this way. And I would re-listen to this, what's present for you? What are you feeling? And Joan, I'd love to have, Fran, I think we're about timed out for everybody, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, Joan, is do a pause. And I'd love to, at your convenience, right, do another one of these, where, and we could even do it when we have the two people on. So we could do this exact role play. And I'm not even joking. If you could get it, if you could make it happen with one of the people that you're having challenges with in Hawaii to build that relationship, that would be drop the mic, and we'll do mind-blowing things. If you can't, we'll just set it up as a role play with somebody else, and we'll take it from there. And we're going to create amazing access, because what I want you to hold on to in your heart as we execute the program, right, the formula of integrity-based human influence, is every single person is looking for somebody to share with. Every single solitary person. And nobody has the optimal person. They're always believing there could be somebody who can, or 99.99% of people believe there's something more out there to have them feel heard, seen, and validated. And that's what you stand to deliver for these people, every single one of them. And that is what is present for me.
I'm going to do this afternoon.
Amazing. So please let me know how it's going. We'll go from here. And anything I could do as we say goodbye to everybody. Any final comments from you, Dr. Joan?
No, this was tremendous. It was a breakthrough. So thank you very much.
All right. Dr. Joan, thank you. And we will circle back. The Lions call is on for today. Yes?
Yes, it is. 4:30.
All right.
10:30.
All right. I believe I can be on. If I'm not on, it's only because something is blocking it. But I will be on 99%. So thank you. Amazing day. Everybody, go out there and use this in a real, raw, heart-centered, beautiful way. Have an incredible day. Thank you again, Dr. Joan.
You too. Thank you very much, everyone.
So now is the time you take action. What is the one thing you will do today that will help you make more money in less time and with more magic? All you need to do is take one action right now and then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you share today's win and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review, so we can reach more like-minded people like yourselves, your questions will be answered and maybe even your win will be live on the podcast. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live studio audience for each morning huddle so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.